this is just gonna be mostly market mostly trade review because yeah, I took two trades that I haven't like sat down and journaled. I mean I journaled one, but this one right here. But no. I just remembered I haven't journaled them at all. I only like took screenshots because yeah, it's been like an up and down week, but it's only Tuesday. Not like up and down in the markets. I mean on my end, routine wise. But anyways, that's not important. We swept this low last week, and ever since then, we've just been bullish. Okay, honestly, uh, this is Monday's candle. I was honestly looking for lower prices. This is the daily chart on this wick. This wick doji, I was looking for lower prices above here, above the close. There was a there was an hourly. I don't know. I'll check after this. So I was looking for lower prices. My bias flipped. That's what the important thing is here. And then let's go to the weekly chart. Okay, we didn't sweep any weekly low. I was anticipating that we would trade to this weekly fair value gap before we go higher, but take what price gives you, I guess. But right now my draw is this weekly wick CE. That's my draw on liquidity. But I'll get back to that later on. I just want you guys to see these levels before I proceed. Okay. Wait, let me see some. Looks like we traded to this weekly fair value gap, and that's gonna be changing state of delivery. My eye was honestly on this one, but this is also interesting. I'm just seeing this now. All right. Anyways, so that makes total sense. Like that explains the buy. It really does. But right now, let's go to the 4 hour. Sweep this low, auto block, up one more time, reclaim it, then up again. So this is where I was looking for shots on this 4 hour CB. We had a 1 hour CB in it. No, this was non-farm payroll, right? All right. So I was looking for shots here on this order block right there from this CB. And as you can see, that failed. I took the trade on my funded challenge account. I didn't take it here. But now that I'm looking at the weekly chart and that fair value gap, you know, it makes total sense why price is just one-sided. On top of that, we had retail trendline liquidity here, blasted through it, as you can see. It was my draw. I wanted to take a trade last night here, but I fell asleep, so I couldn't take it. But I will also review that. We'll just be reviewing these three beautiful moves to the upside. The reason why price is so one-sided, there are no opposing PD arrays. We just traded into a weekly PD array and relatively equal highs. Everyone that's been making money and going short is getting the stop losses are being tagged right there if they held for long. But yeah, overall, that's the huge explanation. So I I was trading Asia. This is very interesting, by the way. I was trading Asia the order block is somewhere here, right? Uh, there's a CB here. I'm not gonna like draw out the things, the PD arrays, because I don't want to make this long. I have some work to do, schoolwork. This is the CB inside the order block. As you can see, traded to it. Got a 5-minute change in state of delivery. I entered, then price went for my stop right there. Why? Because I was trading against the trend. Even though I got a change in state of delivery, it doesn't guarantee that my trade will be correct. I forgot to mark out the new week opening gap low here. I guess I'll do that after the video. It's not really that important. So after Asia, I waited. All right. So we got this hourly BC. All right. So this consolidation made me puzzled a bit, but we got this this 5-minute order block that London traded to, and then it made this propulsion block, right? Propulsion block right there. So I was very skeptical about this order block right there, so I didn't take it. So I decided to enter off this. I'm gonna turn on the executions now. And for everything else, I'm not gonna go to the daily chart again. I'm done. I'm just gonna be focusing on the hourly, 15-minute, and 5-minute. As you can see, I entered right there as we traded down to the propulsion block. And then after I entered, I just honestly wanted to make up for my losses. I didn't want anything much. I don't wanna, yeah. So I put my take profit right there. As you can see, it got hit. I I moved it a bit higher just so I could like cater for the losses. But I knew that my real draw was this new day opening gap low. Yeah. So flip of bias overall. That's why I always trade after Asia because of this Asia liquidity. I'm also going to be talking about that in this video. Asia liquidity for framing your London bias and your overall your intraday bias, your bias for the day. So we blasted off, took out this high, went to the new week opening gap low, classed out new week opening gaps, good draw, took out this high also. It was just, one-sided movement. And there was another BC right there, as you can see. Same thing that happened here happened there. And I'm gonna show that in the New York PM session. And honestly, I didn't care about how far I was gonna go, and I didn't feel any FOMO for this move. Honestly, this was clean. If anything, I was happy because I knew that okay, now we're entering low resistance moves. We're gonna have low resistance moves, and on top of that, uh, trading gold just becomes much easier. At first, I would always wanna like turtle soup this high, look for a short here, and then I get railed. But now, like I learned that if gold is one-sided, it's one-sided, and you can't change that. Anyways, let me. So that's the hourly BC, right? 5-minute traded to it just at the top, and then changing state of delivery. Took out the other highs that were right there. So I'm gonna show you something that I learned from ICT, ICT's recent videos, and I back tested it on my chart with it, which is gold, the chart I only trade. So let's say you missed this entry, this order block entry. There's no propulsion block, no nothing. So it goes up. You haven't reached your target. Let's say hypothetically my target is here because it's just around that level, but it didn't reach it. See this wick right there. And I'm only like looking at the 5 minute wick. There's another wick on the 15 minute right there. But you're gonna look for the CE, consequent encouragement. I don't know how to spell that honestly. I was with my friend the other day and he brought it up like, bro, you don't know how to spell it. You don't know how to pronounce it. But anyway, that's not too significant. See this wick right there. And this is also good for like pyramiding and all that. Take the CE. Look at that. This is the 50%. That's where you can pyramid. And honestly, where you're gonna put your stop, I don't think it should go anywhere lower than this, but you can just put it maybe yeah, it's you can put it at this order block right here because you don't expect price to return here if we're really bullish. Respected 50% and then plus that high to that high. And the same thing happened today. This is the trade I took this morning. But the difference is on my funded challenge, I pyramided. Here I didn't pyramid. It was just for displaying uh yeah, it was just for display purposes and I just it's just much easier to trade on your phone than on your laptop, especially if you're a guy that's always on the move. So let's go to the hourly chart so we can be a bit clear. Displaced above all these highs, 1 hour breaker right there, low, lower low, fair value gap coupled with, yeah, that's my breaker. My draw on liquidity, like I said, is this weekly wick. The purple line is the weekly wick. Okay. And there's buy side, PM buy side resting above there. It's much cleaner on the 15 minute. So honestly, I saw this setup. Price, I was right there. I was walking myself through the whole trade, and I'm gonna walk you guys also, whoever's watching. Let me just do this. What? Let me just do this. So, uh, I marked out the breaker, right? This is the break. All right. So I saw that price failed to trade to the break. So I was just there like, okay, I'll wait for it to dig in a bit more during London. And I was looking at like since I trade order blocks, it's always like ideal. Let me see. Control Alt H. Okay. It's always ideal for me to look at the candles that are forming. Like if I'm bearish, I'm looking at how the up close candles are forming close to my point of interest or my PDRA on all that. And if I'm bullish, look at how my down close candles are. I saw this and I saw the 15 minute. I saw this huge and I was like, nah, that's unrealistic. So I was like, okay, let's wait for it to dig in a bit more. Also, trade to this breaker. See how price just I marked out the breaker from the bodies because that's where the liquidity is contained. See how price just stopped right there at the bodies. That's perfect. That's algorithmic. So I saw that and then I wanted to enter off this 5 minute order block, but price didn't give it to me. Prioritize higher time frame. PDA Razor gave me this 15-minute one. I entered here. I entered late, but I entered first on my funded challenge account. So after that, pretty much went up. Uh, so when you see this, you'll be looking at it like you have this just to a way that can help resolve your it can help resolve your lack of bias, yeah, or just to add confluence to a bias that's already uh you do your top down analysis and you see that you have an hourly fair value gap. This hourly fair value gap is, and when you scroll down to the 15, you have a 15-minute CB. This 15-minute CB is competing against this hourly busy. So you that some people that are gonna short this fair value gap. I'm telling you for sure. But since this BC is on the higher time frame, it's more likely it's stronger. In other words, it's stronger. This is weaker compared to this, especially like the fact that price is coming from this to there. So, like I said, my draw on liquidity is this. This is PM session high. It's about to get tagged, and I think it's gonna get tagged tonight. And then this is also my draw weekly wick consequent encouragement, and then I just decided to take my low hanging fruit and run away because first of all, it's FOMC day tomorrow, and secondly, we've been uptrending for the longest, so I don't wanna from here we've just been expanding. So I don't wanna. I feel like honestly, it's just me. I feel like to some extent the market just gets a bit exhausted. I don't know. That's just me. Anyways, so this is it. Instead of that, and then on my MT5, I pyramided on this BC because why? It was close to this CE, the 5 minute. I'm not using the 15-minute one. I'm using the 5 minute. 5 minute wicks. I'm telling you, those are magic. I was looking at the price like when it went into this wick right there. I was looking at it and it just exploded. And honestly, I don't want to lie. I'm going to be real here because it's part of the journaling journey. This was my biggest this was my best trade ever since I started the funded challenge. This was my best trade because I I ended up pyramiding and I stuck with it. I moved my stop, I managed my risk. Everything was well organized. But it was my best trade. Why? Because I was scared while doing it. I was scared when I entered here, price was moving down. This was honestly my last line of defense. And I didn't want to see price return to this order block. So I put my stop here and then yeah, I also put the stop of this one here. And on top of that, I didn't even pyramid with a lower lot size position. It was the same position. It was a mistake, honestly, but honestly, I love the experience. I love a bit of adversity. So, all right, got here, it blasted through that. And then it was coupled with what? This reclaimed fair value gap. 5 minute is always so clean for scalping, honestly. And that's why I mainly marked out 5 minute PD arrays. But from the start point, if you have a 5 minute order block and a 15-minute order block, you trade using the 50, you enter off the 15 minute. So yeah, CE of this week blasted to the tick. This is just perfect. You can't get it any much better than that. This is an order block now. This right there. This becomes an auto block. Coupled with this 15-minute BC, coupled with this 15-minute BC makes that an auto block, right? Okay. So I'm expecting price to stay above here. This is the real support and resistance. Everything I marked out here, that's the real support and resistance. So I moved my stop here and waiting patiently for my target to be tagged. So we got that closure above the CB, makes this an inversion fair value gap. See how price was just staying on the upper half, bodies upper half, shows bullishness. Good, good, good. And then we traded down, went up. This makes this what? A reclaimed fair value gap. Traded down again, went up. And London closed right close to my target. And I was like, okay, New York, I'm await for London close expansion. Didn't get that. New York session, I thought it was just right here. I thought it was just gonna tag it and then, didn't get that. And my lesson was just about to go get in. I was just about to have a lesson. So I couldn't wait that long. And I just didn't like how we were creating relatively equal highs and all that. So I opted to get out here. Even on my MT5, I got out here. But my drawn liquidity was eventually reached. Plus, my stop was so super tight. I put it here. It was super tight. And I knew that it was super tight. I had locked in like 20 USD. And I made 59 USD off this trade. If I held for here, I was going to make 72. But next time, I guess. The good thing is, I I got my first pyramiding win trade. That's good. And this video might be a bit long because I have some stuff to talk about a bit, referring to psychology and all that. The reason why I got the confidence to pyramid is because I've refined my trading process this past weekend and I've been looking at my past analysis, the past trades I've been entering, what I see in the market, my tape reading screenshots, all that. And I realized that, and I've been watching successful traders interviews, they they don't just add one position to that trade. They're not fearful to add other positions to that trade of pyramiding. That's what opens the door to being a wealthy trader, being able to pyramid. Yeah, pretty much that. Just scaling up, you know, your account and your trades, your setups, and yeah, yeah, that's just it. And just not being fearful. Like you're already taking a risk when you're entering here. So why hold here when you could just add more as time as as the market goes down, add more, add more. I'm not saying add them like stupidly, but just be strategic about it. See, like here, I saw that price was creating relatively equal, and that's one problematic for me. Two, problematic it can be problematic for me. Two, smart money is accumulating shorts here, so they can run out the stops right there for retail traders. I opted to get out at London High because I didn't see what I wanted to see. I just didn't like all this back and forth. Plus, tomorrow is FOMC and you have to be cautious trading today. That's why I ended up just getting out early. That's the only reason why. And then I came back later to check if my drawn liquidity was correct. It was. Plus, my stop was super tight. That's the only reason. But I could have opted to also, like, after getting out here and then adding another position here, because, like I said, I don't want to see price return here, and then putting my stop here, and then, yes. But I didn't do that because I was content with what I had already done. It was so much of a blessing to be able to make a trade like this. I'm gonna be posting more. I'm gonna be taking more trades like this more frequently because I feel like honestly speaking, I feel like God showed this to me this weekend. I went to my grandmother's place just to cool down, get away from the city, get away from my usual environment, just to, change of environment, traveling and stuff, And I feel like it really helped me because last week I wasn't gonna be able to do this. I went through all my losses for last week and I learned a lot. I'm still gonna learn more. I'm not gonna stop journaling. I'm not gonna stop praying. That's what got me here. That's the process. And most of all, I'm not gonna stop prioritizing school also, you know. But I don't wanna lie. Wanting to be a millionaire at a young age, I don't wanna lie. School is the easy part. If that's your goal, then school is the easy part. That's just me. So, like I said, I'm gonna be taking more trades. If like this, if you really know your model, you've been faithful to it, and you know what you're looking for in the market, why should you be afraid to pyramid? Fear doesn't come from God. Fear comes from the devil. Temptation, greed, it comes from the devil. All those things, when you let them go, when you fight them, when you wrestle with them, you open the door to miraculous things. And honestly, I feel like from this weekend alone, I have really, really, really changed, leveled up a bit as a trader. There's still room for improvement. There's always room for improvement. But this has really been, this has really like showed me more about my model, more that I didn't even. Anyways, that's just about it. The reason why I also pyramid is because if you are pyramiding, if you are adding to your winning positions, you know that this is a winning trade and you're adding to it. Why do you know that it's a winning trade? Because it disrespects bearish PD arrays and it makes bullish PD arrays. That's a characteristic of a winning trade. So this is your first PD array. Once it forms, what do? You enter a bulk of the position here. I will try and do like a video of me doing that on TradingView, but I do that now on my MT5 on my funded challenge account. So far I've made up like I'm left with one trade. I'm left with typically like 40 USD to make up for all my losses last week. But that's not important. The most important thing is the process. So you add a chunk of your position right there. And then once you see a bullish PD array forming and a bearish PD array getting disrespected, if you're bullish, you add with a smaller contract at that bullish PDRA and move your stop up. That's managing risk and that's managing your trade. That's squeezing out the most you can out of your trade. This is just beautiful. This is just beautiful. Like even if I remove the reclaimed fair value gaps, I was just using them for confluence, honestly. This is just clean price action. See how price stayed on the upper half of this BC. That shows that we're really bullish. So you shouldn't be afraid. You shouldn't be afraid of at all. If you're seeing these signatures, you shouldn't be afraid. I mean, at first, it's gonna be terrifying. I was terrified when I entered here. Terrified. But I knew what I was looking for. That's why I held on to the trade. That's why I held on. Oh yeah. Let me just show it to you here. I hope my information isn't gonna get hello. Right, nothing crazy here. So trade executions. This is my trade history. This is the trade from today. Like I said. Um like I said, entered here, pyramided, got out there. That's the trade. And this is funded the one I showed you the other time. All right, I think that's it.